so I've got another project. This pan's come from very, very good friends of ours. And Helena loves cooking. Unfortunately, I don't even know how, but yes, the pan handle is now missing. So I've been given the pan to make a new handle. Great, I can do that, yep. But obviously I'm going to make something a little bit special. However, the issue was that mounting there for, it's welded on for the pan handle. The pan was originally a plastic handle pan. Well, I'm going to turn it into a wooden handle pan because I can't do plastic handles. Ideas are to close it off with a stainless steel washer that I've drilled out. That will sit on there. If we can get it just to balance there for a minute, that would be great. Of course I can't. There you go. So that'll sit about there. A bit like that actually, it's pretty good. And then that'll get welded. So I'll get welded on there. And then this part, which is actually a 22mm pipe fitting, copper pipe, brass pipe fitting. And the idea is I've done these on trowels and things like that before. Right, I'll carry that on, shall I? So yes, this 22mm pipe fitting will be the collar, and that will go on there like that. That'll fit nicely there. I think it'll look quite cool with a stainless steel pan, bit of brass. And then, so that goes on there. Then obviously the lovely wooden handle, but how do we fit the lovely wooden handle to it? Well, this ring will be, that's welded onto the M6 threaded bar, threaded rod. That will go all the way through. Obviously I need to extend that because it's going to be far too short for a pan handle that long. That'll go all the way through, and then as it tightens up onto this extended nut that will be on there, so collar nut I think, that will be welded on. It's all stainless, all 316 stainless. That will be welded on there, and then this will tighten up and it will push the wooden handle tight up to this, which is welded on, and the brass will get pressed in place as well. So what wood? Teak. I've got a lovely piece of teak, and teak and brass go very well together, and also teak and stainless steel go well together. Teak's a really good wood to use in kitchen utensils. The only problem with teak is it's a bugger to use on hand tools. It's not very good on your gouges. It bluntens everything because the oil's in the teak. But yep, this piece of teak is 185mm long. I personally think that attached to there is too long. It's nearly as long as the pan is wide. So I think that's too long, but I can turn it, I can see how long it is, and if I'm not happy with it, I'll just turn the end off, and then we'll round it and for that again, and we'll just shorten the threads. That's not an issue. So yeah, let's see how that goes then, shall we? Right, so I've cut the bit of wood to length, as you've just seen, and I've had to mark it out for centre because it won't fit in my jaws. So because it won't fit in the jaws, all I have to do is turn it to round first, because obviously, as you can see, it's rectangular, and if it's rectangular, we ain't going to get the centre properly. So if I turn it round first, then I should be able to, there we go. Yeah, if I turn it round first, I then should be able to very easily fit it into the jaws. That's up at 900. Let's get it turned around. Very easy to take. Just hit it, top one off, and it's good. That's round. Okay. So it's only rough turned, it's not anything special. So we've got to get it in the chuck and we've got to drill it. There we go, I've got a 6. Right, so my only problem that I have is that a 6mm drill bit, you need enough to go in the chuck, so that's bare minimum to go into the chuck. It's only that long. That is way more than a half. I've got another 35mm. I don't have a longer number 6 because all my drill bits are steel drill bits, and well, I just don't have one, to be honest. So what I'm going to do is drill it as much as I can from both sides and hope that it joins up in the middle. And then I've got a long masonry bit that I'm going to sharpen up and try and make it work just for that last little bit. So we'll have to see what happens. You know, you can just see a little bit of a wobble on that. Oh, what a lovely noise. Okay, so that's as far in as we can get it from this side. Now here comes the fun part. So definitely not advised, but that looks like it has worked. But it's definitely not advised. That's a really, really cheap old, really cheap actually, old masonry drill bit that I've just sharpened up the end. You can see by the dust that's come out of that's definitely not right. It's also bent. It's got a big bend on it. But it seems to have managed to work. And that's ready to turn. So the next job is to take some measurements really. You take some measurements down on this side. The reason why it's longer than it should be, because if I stuff that side up, I know you said the wrong word, if I stuff that side up and I can't get the brass nut to go on because I've turned it too small, if that happens, then I can come back a little bit. You know, I'm only talking 10mm each time. I can mess it up probably 3 times and still have enough timber there, because I think that is way too long for a panhandle. I mean, it's going to be that far sticking out the end of it, but that's what it says online. And we've measured the pans in the house. The pans in the house are actually a little bit longer than that, but they are metal handles, so I don't know. 27, but if I go to the outside of the threads, because obviously I want this to thread on, I can 28, and then I could sand it down to the right thickness. Yeah, so the maximum size it wants to be is 28.9, so if I pull it to 29mm, then I can sand down the inside edge of that. If it's too long, I'll bugger it up. So let's mark it there. Just rest it on there like that. I'll very slightly undercut this. Couple of mil. So let me just loosen that off, tighten her up. .11. Will 28.11 be good enough? Oh yeah, easy. Right, so that's the beginnings of the handle, as you can see. A will you thread on there. Oh, you know what? You just about will actually. Oh, that's really hard though. I've just had to put it in the vise, as you can see the big nasty marks there from the vise. I had to really tighten it up into the vise and then get the big massive adjustable that I've got to tighten that up. Yeah, that's proper difficult to get on, and it's also now red hot just from tightening it up. So it's that tight on there, I don't think it's ever going to move. I don't even think I'm going to epoxy it. How big that bit's going to be, so we'll just leave it there for a minute. Have a look. Work out the end of here and make sure that the tail's going to go on, the ring is going to go on. I need to find out how big that is. So I'm going to use the vernier gauges on that, and then I will be back, and it's going to be sanding time, to be honest. Right. So noisy time, unfortunately, so you're not going to be able to hear me for a bit, but yeah, it's going to be starting after probably the 220, and then work our way down, work our way up, sorry, to maybe 800, maybe 1000, depending on how I feel, depending on how well it looks as well. Okay, noisy time. 240. Okay, so that now that's polished up? No, it's not. It's sanded up to 600 grit, that is, and it's actually quite nice. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the Yorkshire grit out, and I'm going to Yorkshire grit it. The sanding sealer I used is cellulose sanding sealer, Chestnut Products. Sounds like half of that's evaporated, because I haven't done a lot of proper turning for a while, believe it or not. I mean, you wouldn't know the amount of lack of videos that I've had out. Plenty on. Oops, not all over my fingers now, Daniel. A little bit stuck, because it really brings out the grain in whatever you put it on. Look at that. Beautiful colour. A bit more of that on. And I'll put it all over my fingers as well. Just make sure it really gets into that grain. Get that brass polished up as well. It's up at 1400 now. There we have one handle. Could just leave it at that point. As you can see, it's nice and shiny. The brass looks really good actually. Quite happy with the brass. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put microcrystalline wax on that. That's just something that get into the grain and put a nice colour, get into any little troughs or anything, and also put a nice tough finish on it, and it's food safe and all that sort of all that rubbish. Okay, leave that for 20 minutes. I'm sure it's 20 minutes. I've underlined it somewhere. Yeah, 20 minutes. Leave that for 20 minutes, and I'll be back ready to buff it up. 1800. Start one end. You'll see the shine appear. Right, up to 2,200 at the moment. That's one handle done. Well, pretty much done anyway. It's quite nice. In size. Look at the end, that's brilliant. I love that. I love the fact that it looks old. It's quite nice, that. Right, okay, so now it's time to do some metal work. Now I've done the woodwork part. Unfortunately, that's all the woodwork there is to this one. Apart from drilling the end of that, but it's not really that much woodwork, is it? So it's the only turning you get to do on this one. It's only a panhandle, so yep. I think it's quite nice. Obviously, the usual. If you like this type of thing, you like my videos that I do, please give us a thumbs up. Please share it. Please like it. Subscribe. If you don't like it, give us a thumbs down. You know. And let me know why you don't like it, and then I can change and get better. So I was going to do this little bit off camera, but Eve said I'm not allowed to be a wimp, and I've got to do it on camera. So yeah, this hasn't been fitted yet. That's the threaded bar. Obviously, that's the eyelet. It's supposed to go in that end there. Obviously, cover that, and hopefully join up nicely to the edges of where I've rounded it. And should just poke out the end there, because I'm cutting it too long, so I can cut it shorter. It needs to be exactly the same length as this wood, because I've got to drill the inside of that wood out for the extended nut. So I'm culling up whatever I've got. Ooh, a little bit tight. Oh, no. Okay. Well, okay, that goes in there well. Oh, I'm not that useless after all. Cool. I mean, it's the tiniest. You can feel it's got a little twist in it because it pulls this slightly off centre as you twist it. So I'll just keep it there and then tighten it up as it is. But actually, that finish is really quite nice. That. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Tough for that, yeah. Well, let's go do some work on the pan then. There's lots of buffing, and I'm going to use a lathe for that, I think. I'm moving it all by hand, that's ridiculous. Okay, so I've been over it with this one, which is the thicker buffing wheel, polishing mop, and it's Actually, I overheated it by the look of it. It was quite fun, not. So I'm now just going over the pan with this one. Right, so the bottom going round. Just got to go around the top. Try and buff up round the pin. And there we go. That's one shiny pan. What I've got to do is I've got to weld this washer on here. I'm just going to do four tack welds around the edges, and then somehow I've got to centre this on there. So what I might do is drill that and re-tap it. I've got to centre this on there, then I've got to weld that on there in the right place for the handle to be straight. I don't know how I'm going to do that bit, but we'll see. Right, drive.
Yep.
So what we've done is we drilled that all out with a 5mm, tapped it with 6mm, and then we just tightened in this spare eyelet that I've got. So that'd be a really short handle, wouldn't it? My plan is, it's a little bit twisted, but my plan is just to weld that top, bottom, sides if I can, and yeah, hopefully it welds alright. I've just got to get that extended nut in place, and then I can sort out the handle for it. Cool. Let's get it welded. Alright, ready on this?
All done.
Right, so I'm going to do the bottom. Okay.
Okay.
Head behind the phone again. Close your eyes.
Yep.
More than probably. That's tickled. Open your eyes.
What'd you do?
Well,
Dad.
what have I done with the pan? I put it on top of a flipping welding glove so that I don't scratch the pan. That means it's not earthed to the table. Which means I got a little. Never mind. Right, head behind the phone.
Yep.
Close eyes. Yeah?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, that's welded on there. So I just had to drill that out because I completely forgot. That has to go inside the handle, doesn't it? So I just had to drill it out with an 11.5mm drill bit, and that's drilled out at 6mm. It's shifted a tiny bit, but I'm relatively okay with it. Relatively happy. We went from that 6 mil to an 11.5, but it's okay, I think. Yeah, we'll get the handle fitted. I've just got to cut that much off of the threaded bar, and then yeah, we'll screw it in place. See if it all fits. Hopefully. Right, well, that's all gone quite well, I think. So it's one pan handle. I mean, I think the handle's a little bit long, but going on measurements, it's not. So, I mean, my hand's on it. Sticks out a little bit, you know. If it was hanging up, it'd look quite nice if it was hanging up. I just polished the outside up. I didn't do anything to the inside, obviously. That's for cooking in. I don't want to be getting stuff on the inside. But cleaned all the bottom up. It's nice and shiny. I'm gonna have to wipe it again now. Put some grubby mitts on it. But yeah. First pan handle made, should I say. Didn't go too bad at all. Quite happy with that. It's pretty solid. It doesn't feel like it's going to flex or warp or anything. Oops. So, yeah, I'm going to go take that round to Helena now and see what she thinks to it. Hopefully she likes it. I didn't think the handle's too big. Okay. Lovely.